Hey everybody, so it's exam season coming up. It could be your mock exams, it could be your real exams, and this video is going to be looking at component 3 for GCSE drama. The board that I'm specifically looking at is Eduqas, but there might be some tips and things that will help you with other boards as well. The other thing to be aware of, obviously, is, these are my way of approaching questions. Other people, and if you're not one of my students, other teachers might have different ways of approaching it. That's fine, get some advice from different places, see what style works for you, because everyone has a different way of approaching these particular things. Now, the very first thing that I would say to you is if you are doing Eduqas as an exam board, they have some really good exam walkthroughs on their websites. So do go through and have a look through them. It's a PowerPoint. Actually, if you go directly to the website, you can click on and get audio if you have PowerPoint as well. And they essentially walk you through the paper and they describe what it's going to look like. So all papers are going to have instructions on the front. They give you suggested times at the bottom. So they suggest for section A that you are going to want to use an hour and 5 minutes, and for section B you're going to use 25 minutes. We will talk about timing sort of as we go through this particular video. So this video is going to be concentrating on kind of your 4, 5, 6 point or marker questions for section A. So section A, when you open your paper, you'll see a grid right at the front of it, and it will point you to the right pages for your set text. So make sure that you have read that and you're not trying to answer questions on a set text that you haven't done. I have seen it done before. So make sure that you are going to your set text. Now, what they will have done for this year, 2025 and onwards, is they're going to be printing the extract in the actual paper. It always used to be that you take in a clean copy of the text, which you will have this year still, because you need it for later on. And they would give you the starting line, finishing line, you'd find it in the text and you'd write from that. But this year it will be different. There will be an extract that we printed in the text. So if you've been doing kind of mock papers, it is going to look slightly different to it. So don't be thrown off by that. I have also known exam boards to change their style of paper slightly as well, but how they've written the numbers and stuff like that, which has thrown people in the past. So just be prepared for anything. The most important thing is that you are reading questions. So once you've found your set text, you're actually going to go through and you're going to read the questions through before you do anything, because they do tend to group questions together and you don't want to be repeating yourself because you haven't read the next question fully. So go through, read through the questions and go with a highlighter pen or your black pen. And highlight your keywords that you need to remember to use within your answer, or the commands that it's given you. We'll go through that a little bit more when we're looking at questions in particular. But do take a few minutes to do that before you do anything, because it will get your head in the right space. Now, some people say to me, should I start with the longer questions and then go back to the shorter questions? Now, some teachers say, yeah, do that, get those done because they're the big hitting marks. I just don't recommend it personally. That's just me. I don't recommend it because the shorter questions are there for a reason. They're there to kind of get you into writing, essentially. The first few questions are only 1 and 2 markers. So they are there purely to kind of get you into the swing, get you into the right headspace, get you embedding that vocabulary into your work quickly. You've got some quick gains. You can whiz through those questions quite quickly. And then you're kind of in a bit of a flow when you come to your 12 marker, 15 marker, 10 marker, whatever they decide to do, because they can do whatever they want. And I think you're in a much better place then to answer those questions. So my personal opinion is follow the paper and go through with the smaller marks first. But everybody is different. You might find that you want to do the 15 markers first. But yeah, my preference would be to start with section A, start with the smaller ones, and get yourself into the swing of the exam and in the right headspace for your playtext. Now, when we're looking at some of these middle markers, I briefly covered a 4 marker in the last video on short answer questions. You know, middle markers, it could be 4, it could be 6, 8, 10, it could be any of those that you've got, but they're always going to try and help you in the question and give you a little bit of guidance. Usually the marks at the end of it are a big guide of what you need to have in there. So say for example we had an 8-mark question, and this is looking at a slightly different extract now. And we're saying, suggest suitable lighting for this extract and explain your reasons why. And it's 8 marks. So, okay, we're going lighting, we're saying extract, and we're saying explain. So 8 marks, I'm probably looking at 4 different lighting changes within the extract. Let's face it, an extract of 2 pages is very rarely going to have 8 kind of different lighting states. It's just not really going to happen. You might find that they have lighting and sound in this type of question. So what I'm really looking at is giving 4 examples of how I might use light. And that gives me 4 marks, and then my explanation of why is giving me the additional mark on top of it. Say if it was lighting and sound, then I might look at doing 2 examples for lighting, 2 examples for sound. So I've got 4 marks based on each. Now, when you're doing anything to do with sound and lighting, the different things that you are wanting to comment on is obviously atmosphere. For this particular one, I'm assuming on the paper that I've already done, I've already answered what is the atmosphere in this extract. And they've probably got me to do that as a short 2-marker question. And this is going to be, as the questions go on, it's extended a little bit. So when you're looking at lighting, you want to be talking about the intensity. Is it 100%? Is it at 25%? Is it at 50%? So that's the first thing, intensity. You want to be talking about the type of lantern that you're using. Are you using a spotlight? Are you using a profile spotlight? Has it got a hard edge to it? Has it got a soft edge to it? You want to look at, are you using Fresnels? Have your Fresnels got barn doors on them to direct the light? Are you using parkans, which give, big floods of light onto the stage? Are you using a floodlight? Are you using birdies? Remembering also with lighting, you could be using a gobo, which is goes into a profile spot, and it's a cutout sort of metal circle that, say, for example, I wanted to project a cross onto the cyclorama to suggest a church because I didn't want to have lots of scene changes. And I've done this before in The Sound of Music. Then I could use a gobo in lighting. That would count as lighting. Projections can actually count as lighting as well. So that's something to consider. Projections actually can count as lighting or set. So you want to talk about the type of lantern that you've got. You want to talk about, is it downlit? So am I lighting down so there's lots of shadows and things on the faces? Am I lighting from front and back and the sides? Because that gives me a more 3-dimensional, naturalistic looking character. Am I purely lighting from the side? Is it just like a central spot? So those types of things you want to put in. And what's the colour? What colour am I going for? A good one for basic general lighting is usually straw. You might want stark white, cool white. Don't put black, that's just a blackout. So you maybe have a blackout. Am I using ultraviolet lighting? Am I using strobe lighting? All of these different things you want to consider, and you want to make sure that you're getting that into your answers, because that actually, particularly for your longer ones when we come on to later, that's what's going to get you those marks. So you would say on this line, and because you're linking it to your text, on this line, I would have this lighting, describe the lighting, to show that. Yeah. And then you might give another one. However, on this line, I would use this type of lighting, describe it. because the atmosphere is now, or it has changed, or however. Yeah. And then you do the same thing with sound. And again, you're talking about intensity. So you're talking about the volume. You're talking about, is it surround sound? You're talking about, has there been reverb on it? Is it distorted? Is it diegetic sound or non-diegetic sound? Remember, diegetic sound is what the actors could hear. So if it was birds singing and stuff like that, then they would be able to hear the birds singing. If it's non-diegetic, then it's sound that the audience can hear but the actors can't. So maybe that ominous drone that's going on in the background that signifies to us as an audience member that something is about to happen, but obviously the actors don't know that, because let's face it, if they knew something was about to happen, they'd run. So and you get this on movies and stuff as well. So you want to be talking about that type of thing. Again, link it to a line in the script, tell me what it is, and then basically say what that is demonstrating. Okay, so if you, like I said, if you've got 8 marks, if it's just asking for lighting, you're wanting to talk about 4 kind of lighting states, I would imagine if it was 8 marks, they would probably ask you for lighting and sound. So then you would maybe do 2 for one and 2 for the other. But remember, it's 1 for stating where the state would be, and the other one is the explanation. So it's kind of coupled up. So state, explain, and so on. Okay, and that's how you would look at answering an 8 marker, is how you'd actually look at writing a 6 marker as well. Probably once you get to 10 markers, they're going to give you bullet points that will help guide you. So the longer answer questions that I'm going to do will probably help you with that one. So that's a very quick whistle-stop tour on how to kind of answer these questions. If you're thinking about vocabulary, make sure that you're looking at my video that shows you how to very quickly embed vocabulary into work. I have put exam timings into the comments to give you a bit of a steer for questions and how you can, use your time wisely when you're doing stuff. Some of these are, seconds. If it's a 1 marker question asking you for rehearsal techniques, you can get that done super quick. So yeah, just have a look at those different things. If you've got any questions, just put them in the comments below and I will try and get back to you. But the main thing is try not to panic. Remember, these are your ideas. As long as you can put them down on paper, then people can't disagree with you unless it's completely irrelevant to the text, then they can disagree with you. But it is your ideas. You've just got to make sure that the examiner can see those ideas and actually see what it is that you are trying to say on the page. If you are having that moment of panic, just picture yourself in your drama studio or in your drama classroom. What did you do when you were exploring this text? Take a deep breath and it will all come back to you. It's all good. You've got this. Any questions, just write below.